Bensenville. My name is Frank DeSimone, Village President and your host for today's episode. In this segment, we'll be discussing recycling and sustainability initiatives in Bensenville and across DuPage County. Joining us are Tish Powell, Manager of Municipal Sales at Republic Services, and Juliet Mathey, Recycling, Education, and Outreach Specialist with Metropolitan Mayors Caucus. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So let's jump right in to say, can each of you briefly introduce yourselves and your roles and how your organization kind of supports the communities like Bensenville?
Sure, I'll start.
Okay.
I am Tish Powell. I'm the Manager of Municipal Sales with Republic Services, and my role is as the liaison between the village's contractor. We've been a partner with the village for quite a few years now, providing residential waste and recycling services throughout the village. And I'm here to help negotiate those contracts, help address any service issues, which of course there aren't any.
None, zero.
And just, to be a resource, especially as we're talking about recycling and sustainability initiatives.
Juliet?
Yeah, so as the Recycling, Education, and Outreach Specialist with the Metropolitan Mayors Caucus, I am working with 4 other counties and 2 solid waste agencies, including DuPage County, and we are trying to increase recycling rates across the region, help people get excited about recycling again, and decrease contamination. So we're working with Bensenville directly and other villages just like it to help support all of the residents and help them feel comfortable with recycling again.
Well, again, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So how would you describe the current state of the recycling in DuPage County and how Bensenville fits into that picture?
Yeah, so DuPage County annually surveys all municipalities and townships on its waste. So as a county, we are recycling 34% of our waste. To compare that with the state of Illinois, we're recycling 30%. Here in Bensenville, we're recycling only about 18%, but we know that the village can do better, and that's why I'm here today, along with Tish, to help engage with residents, educate them on what is recyclable, what is not, and help them feel like it is an important thing to do.
Also, Juliet, can you explain what the Greenest Region Compact is and how it connects to build vibrant, sustainable communities?
Yes. So the Greenest Region Compact is essentially took a consensus of many goals across the region that different municipalities had, and we took all of those and built a framework. So this framework is supposed to be helpful for towns, villages, municipalities of all sizes and strengths, and essentially it is an inclusive and strategic framework to help these places reach those goals. So Bensenville is signed on to the Greenest Region Compact, which is very exciting. And yeah, so we are through that. There's about 10 categories, from climate to economic development and leadership to waste and recycling and water. So there's a lot of different categories that compact help supports.
So what specific actions or goals are part of the Greenest Region Compact, and how do municipalities like us, Bensenville, participate in those efforts?
Yeah, so a lot of those goals in that framework are about collaborative action. So some of the things that Bensenville is already doing are they are EV ready, so that means that they, as a village, you all are supporting electric vehicle charging stations and helping residents access that resource. You all also are Soul Smart, so that focuses on solar power. And then this campaign as well is very focuses on collaborative action. So we are here to educate residents and help them get involved as a way to also support the village's goals.
So why is it important for local governments to take the lead on environmental sustainability, and what role does the public education play in this process?
Yeah, so I think that local government is a great resource and a backbone for a lot of our communities, and it helps provide people with those resources to take action. So I think that we all envision, a more sustainable future where we have all these resources beautiful place to live as families. And when our local governments also support that and provide those resources, we can all work together toward those. And through education and outreach, we can help support residents for what they really do need and connect with them one-on-one to hopefully improve, the goals that we're working toward. I don't know if Tish wants to chime in.
Well, I have, my next one is for you, Tish.
Oh, great.
You ready?
Great, yes.
So what are some of the most common challenges municipalities face in managing residential recycling programs effectively?
Wow, there's definitely a couple. Probably the most common challenge is contamination. And that is when people place items in the recycling cart that shouldn't be there.
You taught me something.
I did.
Our last meeting, tell them about the pizza boxes. I never knew this. Tell them about the pizza boxes.
So, one of the things that I use as a common example of what should not go in your recycling bin is your greasy pizza box. Our motto is empty, clean, and dry. So anything that you put in your recycling bin should be empty, clean, and dry. And typically a pizza box, it may be empty because I'm sure you ate the pizza out of it, but it's definitely not clean because it typically has a bunch of grease and food stuck on it. So it's not something that should go in your recycling bin. So that's one of the common examples I give people in terms of around what should not go in their recycling bin. Now, if the lid or some part of that cardboard isn't contaminated with grease or food, I'm kind of anal. I'll tear that off and I'll put that in my recycling bin. Another common problem, I call it wish cycling. So people see something and they say, oh, I think I can recycle this. This looks recyclable. It has chasing arrows on it. And it's not recyclable. So those are other common challenges that we run into with things going in the recycling bin that shouldn't. Another common thing that people put in recycling bins that's a big problem at our recycling recovery facilities is plastic bags. So any type of plastic that you can push your finger through, that's not a rigid plastic container, those should not go in your recycling bin. Now, just because it doesn't go in our recycling cart doesn't mean it's not recyclable. A lot of grocery stores and retail stores do take back plastic grocery bags. They just can't go in the recycling cart.
So how does Republic Services support Bensenville in improving the efficiency and the accuracy of curbside recycling?
So we do a couple of things with the village. We recently worked with the village to launch the new Recycle Coach app that's on your website. It shows people exactly what they can recycle here in Bensenville. If they've got specific questions about specific types of items, they can type those in and it tells them whether or not it is or is not recyclable here. There's information on our website. And then if all else fails, a lot of times we do have what we call leave behind tags that our drivers can use if they are going to dump a container and it appears to be full of garbage. We might tag it and leave it just to kind of remind people, hey, this is not what should go in your cart. But that's typically a last resort.
So are there any recent trends in the types of materials people are recycling or misrecycling that you think residents should be aware of?
Probably recent trends, I would say the plastic bags are always a problem. I will bring up the lithium ion batteries and the NiCad batteries. Those are highly flammable, and people not only put them mistakenly in the trash, but they put them in their recycling bin. And those are a major safety issue, not only for our residents here,
for the drivers,
but for our drivers, for our equipment, because a lot of times once those get crushed, they can explode and cause fires.
Light bulbs?
Light bulbs are regular incandescent bulbs are typically not a problem, but those mercury The compact fluorescent bulbs, I call them the little swirly bulbs, those should not go in the garbage because they do have a tiny bit of mercury in them.
Okay.
So those are something that needs to be handled separately. Can you
So-
think of any other items that?
I think tanglers is a big one. So holiday lights, any extension cords, something that can get stuck in the machines.
Hangers,
Hangers.
clothes hangers.
Oh, really? Okay.
Toys. People
Yeah.
will look at toys and, oh, it's plastic. No, that does not go in the recycling bin.
Yes.
Okay. How can residents learn more about the recycling and sustainability initiatives in Bensenville?
So I mentioned a couple. The new Recycle Coach feature on your website is a great tool for folks. And that is available online now that people can use. We are also in the process of putting together a new guide that will be available electronically for Bensenville residents that not only covers what people can recycle in the program, but also reminds people of how they should put out their trash and their yard waste as well. And obviously, I think DuPage County has a plethora of resources on their website. They do a really good job of sharing information with residents on what they can recycle and specifically hard to recycle items. So items that you can't typically put in your recycling cart, where they can take those items.
Do you ladies have a few minutes? We have to take a quick break.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be right back after the short commercial break.
Hi, I'm Tanya with Republic Services with a quick recycling tip. Paper products that are soiled with food and liquid cannot be recycled. Remember, recyclables always need to be empty, clean, and dry. That's recycling simplified.
You're watching Bensenville TV, providing local government programming to residents 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, featuring board meetings, news, events, bulletin boards, and original programming about the services provided by our municipal government and affiliated organizations. Always on, offering community information anytime. To find out more, visit our website, www.bensenville.il.us. Live, learn, explore. Bensenville Community Television.
Hello, welcome back to Spotlight in Bensenville. My name is Frank DeSimone, Village President and your host for today's episode. In this segment, we are discussing recycling and sustainability initiatives in Bensenville and across DuPage County. Joining us are Tish Powell, Manager of Municipal Sales and Public Services, and Juliet Mathey, Recycling Education and Outreach Specialist with the Metropolitan Mayors Caucus. Welcome back.
Thank
Thank you.
We're going to jump right to Juliet. As a recycling education and outreach specialist, what are some of the biggest misconceptions you encounter about recycling?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that it doesn't happen, is that it's picked up from your curb and it goes straight to the landfill. But recycling does happen, and it has been happening. And I think even bigger than that is that a lot of times we don't realize what happens when our recycling leaves the curb. We don't realize that it goes to these big facilities where people are working, and these people and machines sort through all of this recycling. So some of the items that we're putting in our carts incorrectly can either influence, their health and safety, like if there's any batteries in there, and that they also have to sort through, things like if we put sharps in our containers, then, that really impacts their health and safety. Tanglers can clog up the machines.
And what are tanglers?
Tanglers are going to be anything like holiday lights or extension cords, wires, things like that.
Hangers,
plastic bags. They clog up the machines, and they cause the whole operation to stop.
Okay.
I don't know if Tish has any other misconceptions that she's come across.
Yes, in addition to what was mentioned, I've heard people say that, if there's any contamination or anything that shouldn't go in the recycling cart that ends up in the truck, that it trashes the whole load. Then the whole load of recycling has to be thrown away, and that's not accurate either. As Juliet mentioned, all of this material goes to what we call a material recovery facility, where a series of machinery and personnel are there sorting materials and taking out things that shouldn't be there. So that is a common misconception that I definitely want to make sure people understand does not happen.
So how do you approach community outreach to encourage better recycling habits amongst the residents?
So I think the biggest thing to remember is that we're all on the same team. We're all just trying to do better. So when I'm speaking with people or at different events, I'm just there because, we want to learn and improve together. We're not so worried about yesterday's mistakes as much as we are as moving forward with our new information and working on it as a team, not getting upset with one another. And I think that also encourages people to feel comfortable asking questions and being comfortable with not always getting it exactly right, but being willing to learn and do better in the future.
Absolutely.
So what role do events, school programs, digital tools play in making recycling more accessible and understandable to the public?
Yeah, well, I think recycling can be confusing because the technology is changing, the end markets change for what's being accepted, and I think that causes confusion. And technology and then, these educational events, I think, help people feel more comfortable with that changing information. Technology especially, I think that there's some great tools out there now where you can look things up and it's just showing you the most up-to-date information. So like the county website, Public Services has information on the most up-to-date rules, and also Bensenville has some great resources.
And I think, just meeting people where they are is important, whether it's events, school programs, people going to the website on their own, people picking up something potentially from Village Hall. There's so many different approaches because not everyone gets their information or absorbs information in the same way.
Yeah.
So just recognizing that and being able to hit a different, people in different spots. I know sometimes, we set up at your Music in the Park events and have giveaways, and we always share information on recycling at those events. So, there's so many different ways to reach the public, and, just being open to that, and again, meeting people where they are is just really important.
Yeah, it doesn't all have to be a bunch of words. It can be fun. It can be fun to learn about recycling.
Yep.
I know when I didn't know, I remember when I didn't know anything about recycling, what goes where. And it's important to go back to that because a lot of times people are just starting out, and that's okay.
So Juliet, can you walk us through what the recycling coach is and how it helps residents of Bensenville and beyond?
Yes, so Recycle Coach is a new tool that's available across Illinois and is implemented here in DuPage County. It's a website widget as well as a downloadable app, so you can find it either on the DuPage County website or Bensenville's website as well. Essentially what you do is you enter your address, and if you are in a single family home, then you can see your pickup schedule, which is awesome. There's also a tool called What Goes Where. So you either type in the item that you're trying to recycle, whether it's cardboard or perhaps it's a more hard to recycle item, like where do I bring my light bulbs, for example. And it'll populate that and show either, yes, you can put that in your recycling bin, maybe make sure you clean it out first, or if it's a harder to recycle item, it'll show you your specialty recycling drop-off locations. With the app, there's also a camera tool, so you can just take a picture of it and it'll tell you that way. There's also this thing called a discovery zone. So if you want to quiz yourself on what you think you know, then that's available as well.
What future initiatives or improvements are in the works for waste reduction, recycling technology, or education in DuPage County?
Yeah, so we're going to be continuing to provide education and outreach through Cool DuPage, which is the communications for all things sustainability in DuPage. We also, through this campaign, will be launching a website in the fall where people can go to find out more about recycling. There are lots of events happening throughout DuPage, as well in Bensenville. I believe there's a specialty recycling event coming up in August that residents can go to, get involved with. And again, just check out Cool DuPage, find out more, get involved that way.
So Tish, what resources does Republic Services offer for residents who want to learn more about proper recycling and the guidelines?
We have a great website as well, so people can go to republicservices.com and get information, or we have a specific website. It's called recyclingsimplified.com, which has a variety of resources for residents, businesses, and it even has teacher resources with entire lesson plans by age group that they can use right in the schools to help teach recycling to students. Because, you know, as we know, kids come home and bring stuff to parents, and that's a great way to disseminate information to the family. So that's one of the really good avenues that we have to get information out to residents.
Can you tell us about the new digital tools like Track My Truck and how they improve service, transparency, and customer experience for our residents?
Yeah, that's a really exciting new tool that we have on our website. So if you go to republicservices.com and scroll all the way to the bottom to, I believe it says See My Schedule, you can click on there and put in your address. And if you do this on your actual pickup day, you can actually see if the truck has serviced your house yet, or if the truck is still en route and on their way. Now, I don't recommend people use this as a way to, I can put my stuff out late. Still, residents should put their items out either the night before pickup or by 6 a.m. the day of their scheduled collection. But there's information there, such as we have a holiday coming up, July 4th. You can see whether or not your collection is impacted because of a holiday. And there's also information on the website about what items we take in our recycling program and what your collection schedule is. So there's really good information on our website and the Track My Truck feature.
I know we were talking at the break, Republic Service has some cool stuff coming out too, right?
We do. As part of our ongoing sustainability goals, two things I'll highlight. We are the first to launch EV trucks. So we have electric garbage trucks. Matter of fact, we have one downtown Chicago. I think it's at Wrigley Field, and one of the communities out in Colorado is the first to launch a full municipal fleet of electric garbage trucks. We anticipate that half of our new truck purchases by, I want to say 2028, will be electric garbage trucks.
Nice.
So that's in line with our sustainability initiatives and a lot of the things that Juliet was talking about as well. We also opened up a new polymer center, and this polymer center is located, actually we have one in Las Vegas, Nevada that opened up in 2023. We just opened a new one in Indianapolis. And what this polymer center is, it's part of improving circularity. So circularity is a fancy term for, when we used to talk about completing the loop and completing the loop with recycling in terms of purchasing items made out of recycled material and making sure that you are recycling. And just that whole circle. Well, this facility, we actually take in plastic bottles, clean them, flake them, make them into new plastic bottles, and ship them out. And we are partnered with big retailers across the country like Coca-Cola and other manufacturers that have lofty sustainability goals to make sure that their packaging has at least 50% recycled content by a certain date. That is how they are able to meet those goals. These partnerships that we have with them, we're providing them directly with that material for food grade and non-food grade plastic bottles.
I get this question all the time. I'm going to throw you for a loop. What TV is good to just put out by the trash on the curb at all times and the garbage company picks it up? What TV is that?
No TV.
Thank you very much. You cannot put any TVs outside
No.
for a trash day. They will not be picked up, and they'll stay there, correct?
They will probably stay there, but there are options. I know that DuPage County has different programs during the course of the year where people can take electronics for recycling. And
We're having
you know,
an event too.
Yep.
Yes, and Bensenville has events. So in the state of Illinois, televisions and a host of other electronic
Monitors, all that, yeah.
computers, PlayStations, all of those things are banned from Illinois landfills. So those types of items cannot be placed in your garbage because they cannot go into an Illinois landfill. So there are a lot of communities and in particular counties and townships that set up programs where people can bring this material certain times of the year free of charge, or there might be a fee for like some the computer monitors and TVs and different things like that.
Yeah.
So
Electronics drop off, household hazardous waste drop off. I know DuPage County has a location in Naperville for any household
Yes.
hazardous waste or chemicals that you
Like
can
paint?
drop off. Like paint. So paint is interesting. So paint you do, I suppose, want to bring to a household hazardous waste drop off facility for right now, and they will take care of that for you. Sometimes there is a fee. I would say go on the website ahead of time to know what that would be.
but I will note, a lot of the paint that people buy nowadays is latex paint.
Yes.
Latex paint, so it's a water-based paint. And once you dry that out completely solid, and you can do that by, if you don't have a whole lot left in your can, put it in the sun, let it sit outside, let it get completely solid. Or you can add some type of oil absorbent or cat litter to it, mix it up until it's, completely solid. Once it's solid, you can throw that in your garbage. Just leave the lid off so that the driver sees that it's solid and it's okay. But you can only do that with latex paint.
Yep.
Oil-based paint and stains have to go to the hazardous
Good to
waste
know.
facility.
Good to know.
Yeah. And I would say if you want your paint to be recycled into new paint, still bring it to the household hazardous waste facility.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And it's really about buying only what you need.
Yes.
And so that's the whole reduce, reuse, recycle. So by reducing what you're purchasing and only purchasing what you need and not over purchasing items, you don't have all that leftover stuff to get rid of in the first place.
Yeah.
And then there are places that I love, like Habitat for Humanity restores. I think they might take paint, and you could even purchase paint at a Habitat for Humanity store. So if you just have a small job, you were just trying to paint a door at your house, I'd probably check with a place like that and just, grab some paint from there instead of going and buying a whole gallon.
So how can residents of Bensenville stay engaged and informed about their role in building a more sustainable community?
That's a great question. So I think that staying up to date with any of Bensenville's social media, things like that is great. And talking to your neighbors, talking to, your elected officials, finding out from them, what's going on. Perhaps, there's something you want to see happening that's not already happening. So always encourage, getting in touch with your community that way. But again, going to Cool DuPage, they will always have stuff of what's going on in Bensenville, but also just around the county, I think is great. And yeah, Bensenville signed on to the Greenest Region Compact, so they are doing some great things focused on sustainability.
Perfect. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.
Absolutely.
Thank
we'll
you so
see
much.
you guys next time. More Spotlight in Bensenville.